What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. Two faces you recognize every single day. Myself, Alpha Bug Bets, here with JD from Line Movers. However, we have a special guest today. Jammer Betts is here. He was here a couple weeks ago, gave some great picks, hit a big plus money, 3 up, 3 down. We had to get you back in here. Jammer, we'll start with you. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well. I appreciate you guys having me back.
Absolutely, man. We're excited you came on. We appreciate you making time out of your busy schedule. JD, the man of the hour. How are you today?
Man, I am here. I actually am just going to go ahead and talk about this now. I actually went to bed last night, and the Brewers were actually leading 6-4. And this morning, I actually woke up to see they lost 10-6.
Yep.
So yeah, just to go ahead and say that.
Respectable of you to own that right away. We talked about that game a lot yesterday. That game was a little bit of a fishy line. We saw a good example of sometimes when it looks too good to be true, sometimes it is too good to be true. So it's a good learning lesson there. Guys, quickly, before we get into the show, as always, Nick Castrucci is here. He's here at every show. We appreciate you tuning in, brother, and good afternoon to you as well. Gentlemen, we are here with a beautiful 5-game slate. First game we're breaking down starts in just over an hour. You guys ready to dive into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, boys. First game that we have on the slate today is that 1 o'clock Eastern first pitch between the Guardians, who are visiting to the Bronx, taking on the Yankees. Pitching for the Guards is Gavin Williams. He's coming in 2-5 record with a 5.02 ERA. On the other side, Garrett Cole, 4-2, 4.15 ERA. Jammer, you're our guest. We're going to have you lead off most of the games today, so kick it away. Do you have any action in the Guardians visiting the Bronx and the Yankees?
Yes, so I do actually have some action, but, I'll kick off with some stats and some trends, Yankees are coming off an impressive 8-1 win last night versus the Guardians. I believe they're tied up right now in the series 1-1. Yankees are getting Garrett Cole back on the mound today, and, man, he's been hot since he came back. So far in August, he's pitched 17 innings, striking out 22 batters and allowing only 3 runs. On the other side of the bump, we got Gavin Williams, like you mentioned, who's been rocked in 2 of his last 3 starts, giving up 12 runs in 14 innings. And, man, I just don't think it's going to get any easier today versus the Yankees and 2 of the best hitters in baseball, and Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. As we see, the Yankees are favored to win, but I just don't like it at the price. So I think I'm going to try and attack early here. And I'm going to take the Yankees' first 5 team total over 2.5. I love them to get over 2.5 runs in the first 5, strike early, just get it over with.
I like that a lot, and I understand why you would play that angle. You take a look how this Guardians lineup has done against Garrett Cole in their career. Jose Ramirez is 12 of 33, batting nearly 400 with 2 homers. Josh Naylor only has 6 hits off Cole in his career. 50% of those have been homers. He does have 3 homers. Jimenez is batting 275. A lot of the guys in the lineup for the Guardians have done well against Cole in the past, but you did make a good point. Garrett Cole in his last couple starts has looked really good. This series is tied 1-1, so this is the last game of the series. Who's going to come away with it? And it's a battle of 2 teams. They're in first place in their division. So the Yankees are currently in first place in the AL East. The Guardians are in first place in the AL Central. So it should be a good game either way. For me personally, I don't have any action on the side or the total, just because I do think the -190 line is right. I do think the Yankees do pull this one out. We are seeing Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. Their bats are getting extremely hot. We saw yesterday, Aaron Judge, 2 blasts. Soto had a blast. Seems like they are going belly to belly, back-to-back homers at least once in every game right now. They're starting to get into form, so it is a tough call to try and get some value on the Guardians today. Jammer, I definitely really respect your over 2.5 first 5 team total. JD, any action for you on this game?
No. This is a game I really don't have a good read on. As far as the Yankees run line, I would actually kind of lean there, and I would lean under also. As far as my model numbers on that are actually going the other way on actually both of those. Fresh me, I am actually just going to stay off.
I respect it. And at least I get to say this now, JD. Get it out of the way, because I say it all the time when we pass on a game. Sometimes the best play you can make on a game is making no play. If it's not the game you're seeing value, there's plenty of other games on the board, and we're about to get into some more of those. Quickly, before we go into game 2, we appreciate Corey Phillips jumping in, saying, "Let's go, boys. Jammer is a dog." I agree, Corey. He's also giving me a little love there as well. Put something in there for JD, bro. You can't leave him hanging. Let's keep it moving right along, boys. Second game we have on the slate today is going to be the Brewers traveling to St. Louis, taking on the Cardinals. Brewers, we know what happened last night. JD kind of broke it down. Is it a bounce back spot? They have Freddie Peralta on the hill. He's 8-7 with a 4.0 ERA. Going up against Miles Michaelis, who is a guy I like to fade. He's 8-10 on the year with a 5.41 ERA. Jammer, is today the day the Brewers get it back, or is it a stay away game?
Oh, man. JD brought this one up earlier. I'm assuming he was on the Brewers last night. Me and my followers, we were on the Brewers. I knew that line didn't make any sense, but, man, it was just too good not to take. And watching that game, man, it kept me up with nightmares. Blowing that lead in the ninth and then allowing the grand slam home run and extras. So I'm going to try and, keep it professional and try to avoid a bias. But, I am a little ticked off about that performance last night. But, you got the Brewers continuing to push for the NL Central title. They've won 7 of their last 9 matchups versus the Cardinals. I believe the Brewers certainly have an advantage on the starting pitcher matchup. Both
Absolutely.
bullpens have been stretched over the last 2 games. They've both been very close. Starting pitchers have been kind of rocked in both the first 2 games of this series. So they might be a little stretched out here in the bullpen, maybe rely on the starting pitchers a little bit more today. But, last night I didn't think that the money line looked correct for the Brewers. It was right at that plus 100, minus 105, depending on the book. I think today that the money line looks like a good bet, but I just can't take it just because of what happened last night. I would prefer the over in the game. I think we'll see a lot of hits, relying on the starting pitchers. They might have to get stretched out a little bit longer, trying to avoid the bullpen. I think if anything, the over, but nothing official for me. What about you?
Here's a crazy stat I have for you guys. The Cardinals have not won back-to-back games in 3 weeks. So this is a team that they're getting sporadic wins, but they're not able to really string it together. I know they're the home team, but it's a really tough matchup going up against Peralta. Peralta has really good stuff. He's good on the road, and I do anticipate a big performance by the Brewers. Fortunately for me, I'm not feeling like you two were about the Brewers because, as I said yesterday, sometimes the line's a little fishy. It did turn out to be fishy, but today the line does look like it's right. I do think that minus 125 to the minus 130 range is accurate after a first game loss for a road team. Give me the Brewers. I think they get it done, and I'll let it out early. It is going to be a best bet. JD, any action from you today in the Brewers cards?
Yeah, it is definitely tough going actually back to this game. The Brewers, as far as on a side, I'm actually not going to back them there. But as far as their team total goes, I've actually been looking around, and you have some books hanging their team total at actually a 3.5. As far as the model, it actually has them at 4.8 runs. And then when you look at Michaelis, as I believe Alpha said, actually, he's a fade.
Absolutely.
His past 6 starts, he's given up 5 runs, 4, 3, 2, and 6. I'm looking. You can even get a first 5 team total over 1.5 runs. Yes, you do have to pay a little juice on it. But those numbers to me are crazy though. So as far as the Brewers, as far as their bullpen and all that, I'm actually just going to leave all of that out of it. And I'm going to play their team total over here.
I like that. I do think they are going to score some runs. We haven't seen Michaelis get hit. You put that perfectly. I'm in agreement with you. I think that's the right angle here, and I do think the Brewers get it done as well. Quickly to the comments, we have J. Rowe who's on our YouTube. We appreciate you stopping in, bro. Let's definitely have a day. Corey's still here hanging out. Best bets. We're dropping best bets early, Corey. Stay tuned. We got more of them on the show. But, guys, we're about to move into the biggest game of the day for at least one of us. We do know that Jammer Betts is our resident Pittsburgh Pirates insider. He knows more about this team than realistically most people I know. So, Jammer, we're going to kick it off with you. We have Nicky Lodolo, who's on the bump for the Reds. He's 9-5, 4.5 ERA. But on the other side, we have the Golden Boy, the Golden Goose. We have Paulie Skeens, 7-2, 2.3 ERA. Probably NL Rookie of the Year, him or Merrill. I still think it goes to Skeens. Jammer, take it away. What do you got in these Pirates?
So, I mean, just like you mentioned, my boy Paul Skeens is on the bump. He's been trending lately with the news of him being surpassed in the NL Rookie of the Year race to Jackson Merrill, blah, blah, blah. This guy is a competitor. He's got that in the back of his mind. And, although lately I believe that teams have kind of figured him out, he might be experiencing some late season fatigue, but man, I think that just like builds that fire in him that I think he really wants that Rookie of the Year deal, Rookie of the Year award. He hates getting pulled out of these games, so he's going to do what he can in the limited amount of time that he's going to get today. I think he'll still get around 6 innings. Maybe he'll get pushed to 7. But the Reds, we just been speaking about Paul Skeens, but the Reds, despite being out of playoff contention, they've really shown some resilience lately, winning a good amount of their games recently.
Absolutely.
Pirates, meanwhile, continue to struggle both offensively and with their pitching rotation. They had a strong showing from Mitch Keller the other day, but other than that, it's been tough sledding for the boys. I think I have an angle for this game, but I think I'm going to save it for best bets. I'm going to make the people wait.
All right, so more to come from Jammer, our resident Pirates guy. JD, I've been taking all the second breakdowns. Let's have you go second. What do you have in this game?
Yeah, man, this game, for me, both these teams are actually neither teams I actually really back currently now.
Yep.
So I like kind of looked at this in a little different way. As far as Skeens goes, I actually went actually into his stats, and his walks are actually starting to actually creep up now. He's had 3 or more walks, and actually 3 of his past 4. Actually 3 of his past 4 starts. As far as walk rate, the Reds are actually ranked number 14. So actually they take walks. You can get his over 1.5 walks prop at actually minus 125. That's definitely not a best bet or anything like that. But that's something that I am going to play small.
I like that. I definitely respect that here. And you kind of said it perfectly. These are 2 teams that I don't like to back. These are 2 teams that I have targeted to fade for the last couple of weeks. Apologies, Jammer. I know that's not the best news to you. But we all know what's happened with this Pirates team. Their last 15 or so games, I believe they've won 2 or 3 of them. They have not been winning. And the Reds are a team, they have been fighting pretty well lately, but they're also a team that's fighting for basically nothing. They're a little bit under 500. They're 31-31 on the road. This one is definitely one I'm going to stay away. I do think the line is pretty sharp. I do think the Pirates are going to win, and I would take them if it's closer to a minus 110 odds, which I think it should be closer to. But at a minus 145, minus 150, I just don't see the value there and think there is better value on the board. Before we move on, Jammer, I do know you have a best bet on this game. However, there's a prop out there. Paul Skeens, perfect game, plus 30,000. You ever take a shot at any of those? Did you ever do any of those? I know the odds are crazy, and they're only giving you plus 30,000. To me, that should be a lot higher than a plus 30,000. But I know you take the 3 up, 3 down, sometimes the 6 up, 6 down. Any props that you've been able to find, or is one of your props the best bet we're waiting on?
I love to give out the 3 up, 3 down. It's one of my favorite bets to take on my boy Paul Skeens.
And you won it last time on the show. You cashed a big 3 up, 3 down here last time. So you have had success on the show with it.
They're always sitting it right at plus 140, plus 150 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. I love taking a look at it. And trust me, I was looking at it all last night. Today is not the day, fellas. The Reds are a strong fastball hitting team. They're also good against the cutter. So we're avoiding that one all throughout today. So
I respect
take a break from 3 up, 3 down.
And I'm also assuming because they're a good fastball hitting team, you aren't going to be taking the over in strikeouts. It seems to be the most popular bet in sports today.
Everyone loves the Paul Skeens over 6.5, over 7.5, whatever it's sitting at now. But it's just not the play this late in the year.
Especially against this Reds team. And as you said, they are masters at hitting the fastball. They hit the cutter, and those are some of the put-away pitches and the strong pitches that Paul Skeens has. So I definitely understand why you're taking that route. More to come for Jammer in Best Bets. Let's move right along, fellas, to the Astros, who are going to Baltimore, and they are taking on the Orioles. Pitching for the Astros, Spencer Arrighetti, however the hell you say it. He's 5-11 with a 5.2 ERA. On the other side, Corbin Burns, I know how to say that. He's 12-5 with a 3.1 ERA. Burns has been phenomenal. Jammer, This has been a really interesting series. The first one, the Astros won 14-11 during this year. This game was on 6/21. The second time they played was 6-1 or 5-1 Astros, and the third time they played 8-1 Astros. The Astros have won every game they've played each other this year by at least 3 runs. What do you think about this one?
So, I mean, just like you mentioned it, man, the Houston Astros are outscoring the O's 27-13 in their matchups this year. Orioles sit a half game back of the Yankees in the AL East and have been strong at home, but Astros are battling for that AL West title and swept the earlier series, like we mentioned. Got Corbin Burns on the bump for the O's, been strong at home, but he has struggled so far in August, posting a 9.0 ERA, allowing 15 runs and 15 innings pitched. And he also didn't fare well in the earlier matchup versus Houston, picking up the L, allowing 4 runs in a 5-1 loss. I think this matchup's close, but I do think that the Astros' experience might give them a slight edge over the young Orioles squad. So nothing official, but I'd say take the Astros at plus money. I see that they've kind of steamed down since last night, opened up at plus 140, down to plus 132, somewhere around that range, depending on the book. The plus 1.5 is a little too juicy for my looks, but if you're feeling it, sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze, maybe a parlay piece if you want to do that. But nothing official for me. I would probably look at the Astros money line. But what about you, JD? What do you think about this game?
Man, I'm actually leaning the exact same way. And it's it's not a lean. I'm actually definitely playing this. Just like you said, Burns. Burns actually is like their ace. Actually, he actually is an ace.
Absolutely.
He hasn't looked like that his past few starts though. He's given up 16 runs in his actually last 3 starts. So when you take as far as actually starting pitching goes, when you take away that and actually you look at basically every other stat, the Astros have better stats. They have a better batting average. They have a better OPS. They're actually WRC plus. As far as actually bullpen stats, everything is better. And actually, like if you look at just the last 14 days, those actually stats are not even close. Currently, the Astros are just playing actually better ball. I can still get the Astros at a plus 136. I am playing that, and I will go ahead and say that is going to be a best bet.
Let's go. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy. Well, boys, forget everything you just heard because it's absolutely an Orioles parlay piece. No, I do like the Orioles in this spot. Spencer Arrighetti on the road has been an absolute disaster. He's 2-6 with a 6.15 ERA. He has not produced on the road. The Orioles are returning back home, and I do think Corbin Burns is going to get it back going. Corbin Burns is too good of a pitcher to continuously have some of these shaky starts. I do think they get it rolling, and I will say it's officially a best bet for me as a parlay piece. We are not covering the second leg, I believe, of the parlay, so I will give that out in best bets for the people. But me personally, I do think this Orioles team will pull it out. JD's been hot, so take that for what it is. This is one of the few we're opposite. Houston's lost 2 games in a row. I do think that the Orioles bats should be able to get off on Arrighetti, like I said, and give me the money line on a parlay piece. I will complete the parlay when we get to best bets. And boys, before we move to the next game, we have Tater in here, taking a work from break, stopping in, checking out the show. We appreciate you, Tater. Corey Phillips says one of us has a nice mug. I don't have one, and I don't see one from JD, so that must be from Jammer. And we have Big Brain Bets hopping in the show, also shouting in Jammer. Jammer, you got a lot of fans today, brother. You better deliver on these plays and not let the people down. I know you do all the research and you do a great job, so we believe in you. Let's keep it moving right along, fellas, to our last game we have on the slate before we get into best bets, and there's going to be a lot of best bets today. We have the Mets who are taking on the Padres. Pitching for the Mets, Luis Severino, who has been lights out this year. Very surprising to me. He's 8-6, 3.9 ERA, but he has been pitching a lot better as of late. On the other side, Dylan Cease, 12-9, 3.4 ERA. We know what Dylan Cease has done the last month or two. Him, Blake Snell, interchangeable best pitcher in the NL right now. So, with that being said, Jammer, what do you like in this game?
Oh, man. So, although the Padres got whomped last night in Minnesota, they were able to save their top relief pitchers, which I think helps them pull out a win tonight versus the Mets, who had to travel across the country. You know, they had a home game last night in New York. They had to travel across to San Diego for the game tonight. Strong matchup on the bump with Dylan Cease and Severino, as you mentioned. Both have been extremely hot in their last couple starts. Dylan Cease only given up 4 combined runs in his last 4 starts. I'm pretty sure Severino had a 100-plus shutout in his last – a complete game shutout in his last start. You know, it's just tough to back the traveling team, the East Coast team on the West Coast here. Padres, they're a long money line here at minus 155, minus 160, depending on the book. I like them at minus 1.5. You can get that at plus money. I think they've won a majority of their games by 2+ runs. I'm going to take the Padres minus 1.5 at home, back them and Dylan Cease.
I respect that. JD, I will let you go next because I messed up earlier. I said we were not covering the other game of my parlay, but of course we are because I'm a moron. So you go, and then I will complete the parlay.
Okay, here. Everything Jammer just like said, I definitely agree with there. If you look at the past 14 days, these teams have pretty even stats. As far as the bullpen, that's where the only difference is. And actually, like as far as the Padres, they like definitely have the actual better bullpen here.
Oh yeah,
Cease is definitely a bet on guy. That is somebody who I am looking to back. Today, I'm just not sure if the price is quite right. And with the total being as low as it is, the run line and then being the home team, I really don't want to back that. So the Padres on the -1 line, which if you create that should be around about even.
Yes.
So I'm close to playing that. I've actually not played it yet, but I'm getting close.
It's tough to play the Padres right now at these heavily juiced lines, even in parlays, because they have some absolute stinkers. I mean, you look at yesterday's game against the Twins, they lost 11-4. However, after a loss, this Padres team continues to win. They don't seem to really lose multiple games in a row. And this Mets team, like Jammer said, does have to travel, so I will let this best bet out early. The Padres is the second leg of the parlay. I'm going with the Orioles. The odds you can currently get on that is plus 170. So it is a fat parlay of the day, and I absolutely love it. Dylan Cease, to me, has been one of the best pitchers. Jammer said it beautifully. 4 runs allowed in his last 4 starts. I mean, you can't ask for any better than that. He's delivering when they need it. And as JD said, this Padres team went all out at the trade deadline, and they got a lot of bullpen arms. So they do have the significantly better bullpen. So they have the better starter, they have the better relievers, and to me, they have the better bat. So it's a 3 for 3. I think the Padres are going to get out early and often here. I know Sevy had a big start last time, but as a Yankees fan, I've seen Severino for years. After his good starts, usually you have not so good of a start, and I am banking on that tonight. So, yet again, that parlay for me is going to be the Orioles money line parlayed with the Padres at plus 170. Boys, you know what time it is. Everybody is here because they want the best bets. JD has a record of like 903 on the show. I believe, Jammer, you went 3-0 on your first time here, including a big plus money prop. So the boys are red hot at the best bets. Let's dive right into them. Jammer, special guest, what do you have for your best bets today?
You know, I sort of hinted at it earlier. We were talking about the Pirates game, and I said I'd give it out in the best bets segment. Usually we go with the 3 up, 3 down, but today I'm back in the over in this Reds Pirates game. I know you guys might not like it. I don't know. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but I sort of mentioned it earlier, you know, with the matchup of Paul Skeens and the Reds. The Reds are extremely well at hitting the fastball, and as we've seen in Skeens' last couple starts, you know, he may be showing signs of fatigue. You know, you're getting late into the season.
Absolutely.
Maybe teams are starting to kind of figure him out. He's losing a little bit of velocity on that fastball, but there's also some trends that sort of back this play here. Over 7.5 is sitting at plus money, and on some books, some are right around that minus 105 mark. But a fun little trend here. Pirates, we don't typically think about, you know, scoring runs, but in 7 of their last 9 home games, the overs hit. How about the Reds on the road? the over has hit in 8 of their last 10 road games. And, I'm willing to risk my Paul Skeens stash on my best bet today. If it loses, I'm shaving the Paul Skeens stash off.
Okay.
Losing any chance I ever have with Livy Dunn.
Wow.
So I'm putting that on the line here. So
a lot on the line. There's a lot of other analytics that back that up as well. And JD knows from the show how much I love targeting overs when it's in that 6 to 8 run range. It's exactly what I look for. And with Paul Skeens, he hasn't been able to get out of the 6th inning. I know we talked about this earlier, but I'm looking at his last 5 starts. Only 5 starts ago, he went 8 1/3. All his other starts ended by 6. So we should be able to bank on at least 3 innings of Pirates relief pitching. We know how that usually likes to go as well. And then on the other side, Nicky Lodolo isn't somebody that just keeps people off the runs or off the scoreboard as well. He is 9-5, but he does have a 4.55 ERA. That means when Lodolo is out there starting, this Reds team is getting runs, and they are backing him up because they're winning with him giving up on average 4.5 per 9. So that 9-5 record shows me that this team does hit for him. I do expect to see runs here as well, so I do absolutely like that play. Corey, who's been here all show, is saying risking it for the stash. Holy you know what? I agree. Big play by Jammer. Big bet there on his end. Guys, I will give out my best bet second. First one, we said it earlier. It's going to be the Orioles and Padres parlay. You get that at plus 170. For my second one, we didn't go over this game, but I am taking the Tampa Bay Rays at minus 120. They should beat up on Beto of the Athletics, and we should see a good game there. Third and final best bet. Should I do 3, boys, or should we keep it at 2? What do you think?
3 up. 3 down.
3 up, 3 down. Game starts in about 35 minutes. Rockies Nationals, we did not talk about it, over 8.5. Patrick Corbin versus Cal Quantrill. It is a batter's dream facing these pitchers, and we should see a ton of runs there. Those are my 3. JD, we have about 850 people in here live who stayed to hear your best bets. Give the people the winners.
All right. We have already talked about one of them. Going to go to the Astros. Going to play them. Going to play them on the money line and get a plus 136 still. Absolutely love that. The value today is definitely there. Yeah, absolutely love it. And then going to do something that I have never said on this show yet.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Going to go to that Brewers game. Going to take their team total over 3.5 at minus 145, and I'm playing it big. I've actually not said that about a game on actually here yet. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let everybody know that the wager on that one is a rather large one. So,
a large wager. And if they want to find out, exactly how large that wager is, JD, where can they find out?
As far as our actual VIP and the VIP and the Discord, if you actually go to our actual Twitter page or X page,
whatever the hell it is now.
Yes, you can actually find all of our links there.
Excellent, and that's where you guys can get in. JD, before we go to the other best bets, Nick Castrucci, cash another tennis play. I think it cashed about 30 seconds ago, so I don't even if you know that yet, but you just won another free play. I believe your record is 34-10. Congratulations on another winner. Nick, again, Moneyball metrics, baby. Best Discord around. JD just told you guys how to get into the Discord. Tap the link. It's free to join. Get in there, and let's continue to cash these bets. Any other best bets for you today, JD?
No, that was it.
That is going to be it, guys. An awesome show. We want to again thank Jammer Bets for hopping on, coming on, giving out the winners, risking the mustache, risking the future relationship with Livy Dunn. A lot going on with this Pirates game today. We appreciate you. JD, another great show as always, brother. Let's cash our best bets. And, guys, we will catch you guys on Friday. We will be back tomorrow. Everyone, good luck today.
See you guys.
Peace.